Hey everyone, it's October 18th, 2020. My name's Bobby Frankenberger, and I'm here with the rest of the SCN crew today to talk about some tabletop gaming news for the week. We'll be talking about Roll20's plans to match up to $50,000 in donations during their 2020 charity convention, Roll20Con. Hasbro is getting a new CEO, and Cyberpunk RED has an official release date now. So here we go. Let's get into it. All right, well, Roll20, like I said, has announced that they plan to match all their donations for Roll20Con 2020 up to $50K. Roll20Con 2020 is quite a mouthful, by the way. But Roll20, they host an online annual gaming convention called Roll20Con where they raise money for charity during 3 days of tabletop gaming fun. This year, every dollar up to $50,000 is going to be matched by Roll20. So if they make $50,000, then they'll actually be getting $100,000 sent to Code 2040, which is a charity that strives to eliminate racial disparities in the tech industry. Roll20Con runs from October 23rd to the 25th. It'll be streamed live on their Twitch channel, Roll20 app, and will feature content from plenty of popular actual plays like Dimension 20, Rivals of Waterdeep, as well as demos from publishers, and Roll20 announcements will be there. I'm sure lots of stuff. They're always announcing stuff or showcasing their dynamic lighting. I'm sure there will be a workshop on dynamic lighting. All the info can be found at roll20con.com/con. Have any of you guys ever gone to this? They've been doing this for at least a couple of years now, haven't they? So I don't know if I've never viewed it.
You know, it's funny. Like when I was on Roll20 today to do my tutorial video, I noticed the Roll20Con. Like I could just go ahead and mark my game as, register this game for Roll20Con. I'm like, what's this? And then that's when I was like, Bobby, you should do this news segment. He's like, way ahead of you. And I'm like, no, I've never done it, but it actually looks really cool. And yes, they do have a tutorial for dynamic lighting. I'm actually really excited. I love that they're doing a bunch of demos for games that, we've seen Roll20 statistics before. Like we've done segments where we've kind of like broken down what the quarter looked like. And, usually D&D is super at the top, but they're doing all of these different demos of stuff like Thirsty Sword Lesbians and Altered Carbon, Kids on Bikes, Alice is Missing. Like that sounds really, really great.
Yeah, I just looked. You're right. There is a dynamic lighting showcase. So that's very funny to me. But yeah, if you want to check out Roll20Con, go on. It's going to be this coming weekend and on Friday the 23rd through Sunday the 25th. Next up, Hasbro. John Frascati, CEO of Hasbro, owner of several board game and tabletop RPG companies like Wizards of the Coast, is retiring. Hasbro announced that Frascati will be retiring on March 31st and will continue as a special advisor to Brian Goldberg, the company's new CEO, for a year after his retirement. As of right now, there's not a lot more news on that. Frascati's been involved in upper management at Hasbro since 2008, and CEOs are often responsible for setting the pace and direction and culture of companies. So I only bring it up since Hasbro touches so many of the games and properties that we like in geek fandom, like Dungeons and Dragons, and of course, My Little Pony. Hasbro created the cable network The Hub, which would eventually be responsible for rebooting My Little Pony back in 2008. So they touch a lot of the things that we like. But I'm going to quickly go past that because speaking of corporations and corporate overlords, Cyberpunk RED has an official release date now. Cyberpunk RED, the long-awaited sequel to the Cyberpunk 2020 tabletop RPG, finally has an official release date, and it's right around the corner. Cyberpunk RED is set to release in PDF on November 14th, and the 456-page hardcover will release on November 19th. That's ostensibly that's their plan, but things can get in the way, but they're hoping and thinking that that's when it's going to be out. The game has been delayed multiple times because of COVID-19, so you wouldn't be faulted too badly for being skeptical of this new November release date. However, I think we're set for a mid-November, considering they've acknowledged on their blog post that they can't keep trying to hope 2020 calms down, and also the book has gone to the printers, so it's kind of a foregone conclusion by now. The book's 456 pages, like I said, 153 pieces of art, 3 pieces of fiction, and will sell for $60. For those not familiar, Cyberpunk RED is, as you guessed it, a cyberpunk tabletop RPG set 25 years after the old Cyberpunk 2020 game and 35 years before the CD Projekt Red video game Cyberpunk 2077 that is much anticipated. It's got everything that you could possibly need for a game, Game Master tools, history, the setting, everything. Oz, and I want to hear from other people as well, but I'm going to start with you, Oz, because I know you played the Cyberpunk Red Jumpstart kit on stream here on our network a while back. You can see, by the way, the videos on the channel here. What do you have to say about the game? Like, what did you like about the system?
So I liked that I felt like I could just pick up the dice and roll, which is great. I love the feeling of not having to think too hard about what I need to do. I think there's also some, it does get bogged down in a couple of places here and there, but then I also noticed that I felt like some classes in the Jumpstart kit were more developed than others. So like Rocker Boy seemed like it was missing mechanics, whereas the Netrunner had their, how do you traverse the matrix? Tech didn't have anything about drones. So I imagine, and there's also like a couple of other classes that weren't involved in the kit at all, like media. So I'm interested in seeing what all of that ends up looking like cohesively and what the mechanics for all of those different classes are and what that game as a whole is like. So generally positive was my feeling about the game. I like it.
I'm interested in, I've only heard about and don't know anything about it. Maybe maybe one of you guys knows about it. I'm interested in the concept of life paths. Do you know about that?
Yeah, so life paths is you randomly generate. I mean, you could pick if you want to, but they have like different tables, and it gives you like where you were born, who's something or someone that you've lost in the past, your friends and your enemies. Like it kind of just generates a story for you that you can use as an inspiration for your character. If you don't like what you rolled, just roll again. But like it gives some grounding right away as to things that you can do without like you having it doesn't start from a class and then figure out where you go. You just start from this life path kind of tables and figure out and see what gets generated for you. It's pretty neat. I actually like it a lot.
It sounds to me a bit like the whatever you call it in Shadowrun. I can't even remember what it's called now. Cliff, what is it called? The character generation thing.
The life modules?
Life modules, yeah. Is it like that? Sounds like a bit like it.
I don't think so.
Sounds kind of similar, but also not as tied to the character generation choices, maybe?
Okay.
Yeah, it's not tied to character generation at all. So it's
just
about
it's
part
background.
of it's a like Palmer says in the chat, it's a backstory generator. It's not a all the mechanics are different.
It's be more like more of a D&D with the backgrounds and the things you might roll.
Yeah, that's
otherwise just pick the list.
Yeah, but it doesn't give you any mechanical benefits the way that D&D backgrounds do. Something I also want to mention that I just total side note is that this game is actually, it looks like that hardcover is releasing the day that 2077 the video game releases, because that's November 19th as well. So I thought
that was an odd choice.
I imagine, remember, they were going to release the full book like last year.
Yeah.
Remember, we were at Gen Con and we were
they
like, they were going to
later than, I guess, I don't know.
They were going to release it around the same time as Shadowrun 6th edition. Like it seemed like they were kind of, in a battle, right, to see which one would release first, but then they ended up taking a lot, like after the Jumpstart kit, they took a lot longer, and it seems like, according to what the story was, COVID-19 really delayed them. But yeah, I wish that they had released it a little earlier so that we could kind of get that middle ground storyline, right?
I wonder if this isn't going to accidentally benefit them, right? People who play through Cyberpunk 2077 and are like, yes, I want this and only this, and I want this world. And they're like, what can I, there it is. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know that anybody's going to be like, whoa, I really like this RPG. I wonder if there's some video game for this coming out, right? I think there's a pretty big potential in it going the opposite way. So maybe taking all of this time and getting it as right as they possibly could have in the meantime, and having a, frankly, convenient excuse in COVID, maybe this is all going to be a really, really big win for them. I hope
100% agreed. Yeah, because end of the day, like all of those people are going to be more interested in playing the prequel of 2077 after they've played 2077, as opposed to
and some
that's a good point.
Buy-in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very good point. I agree with all of those. Well, that's just some of the things that's going on in Tabletop this week. Not a lot, actually, but if you have news stories that you think that we should be covering that we're not, then you should send them on over to us. Either email them to us at contact@shadowcasters.network, or you can fill out the form on our website, shadowcasters.network, or even better, we have a channel all for dropping news items on our Discord. Go to shadowcasters.network/Discord to get into it. But if you get in there, there's a channel all in there called News Suggestions for the Show. Put your ideas and things that you've seen in there so that we can talk about them here on the show. If you've liked what we've done, then check out our Patreon, patreon.com/shadowcasters. We have benefits for patrons there, and we do Q&A during the live show. This is a show we do live. So show up Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can be a part of the conversation. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week. And from me and everybody else here, have fun gaming.